Hi, Noe. Are you feeling fancy? Are you feeling so fancy? You're like the fanciest thing ever. Oh my goodness. I know. You gotta... Mowing. We're mowing and feeding. Mowing and feeding. Mow feed. Mo feed, mo problems. Am I right? Ugh. I should not try to make references such as that. Hi, bud. Wah. Hi. How are you? He's like, better now that you're down there. Hello, all you fancy people. We're fancy casting now, so strap in. I know, right? What do you think, Raven? She's like, oh, I want food. Hi, baby. How are you? How are you, Sugar Muffin? Whoa. Oh, there's Heidi. She's on the mower, wearing pink. It's a glorious thing. The temperature finally broke. It's been warm. It's been warm. A little bit warmer than I would like. It's May. I mean, it's mid-May. We're knocking on the door of June. It's one of those things where just time, it just seems like time just moves so frickin' fast, man. I don't know. What is that? Lewis Black had that bit where it's like, I don't know, it's that time is relative. It's, oh yeah, just time moves really, really fast. It's not that, yeah, or it's not that life is short or something of that kind of caliber. It's like, you know how long summer was? 3 frickin' days. That's true. As you get older, things just go, they just accelerate. And I guess it's just all because it's the relative chunk of your life. The relative chunk of your life that is a, you know, a month or a year as you get older. What? What? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, bud. What? 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 Hi, Mr. Man. But it's like as you get older, that stuff just starts happening. Time just starts moving quick. And I know there's going to be someone here who's maybe seen a few more winters than I have. And they're just like, you whippersnapper talking about getting old. Who do you think you are talking about such things? I'm sorry, Grandpa, that I'm not as weathered as you. But you understand what I'm talking about. It's not like I'm making things up. Hi. But, yeah, I remember breaking a bone when I was a little kid. You'd break a bone. I broke a bone in my hand, and it's like, all right, well, you know, you're gonna have to be the recovery period is gonna be a few months, and it's like months. My God, my life. That is a significant percentage, like a percentage of my existence. A significant percentage of my existence is going to be spent recovering. Oh my God. And then recently, I broke a toe in my bone. You know, I was about to say I broke a toe in my bone. I broke a toe in my bone, dog. Yeah. No, I broke a bone in my toe. And then it was kind of a similar thing. And it's like, yeah, recovery's gonna be so long. And I'm like, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Actually, the doctor was hilarious because it was in such a, it's in such like a, like who gives a shit spot. It's like it was the joint, like right below my toenail. So that it doesn't really bend a lot anyway. And it was an avulsion fracture where the ligament got stretched so much that it actually ripped a piece of bone off. So it ripped a piece of bone off of that joint, but then it just went kind of right back in place. It just went right back in place. And it started, and I'm like Wolverine. I started healing up and whatnot. I'm still, it's technically right now it's still broken, but I mean, you know, I take like literally, I was prescribed some ibuprofen. That's it. The doctor said, like, he literally said, I don't care what you do. Not trying to be like a dick or anything. He's like, I really don't care what you do. Like, it already, like the swelling, most of like the bruising and the swelling, that's ligament and muscular and tissue damage. The actual bone part, like he took some x-rays, it's like, yeah, you look great. It went right back to where it's supposed to, and it's already starting. You know, that was like within like the first few days, and it's like, yeah. She's like, as soon as you start feeling good, and you feel like you can start doing things, just start doing things. Go for it. And I'm like, cool. So I did. Yeah, and it's like it hasn't stopped, hasn't slowed down any like workout type stuff. I mean, I went and ran today. Yeah. And I say this very technically, with technically a broken toe. Yeah, it is broken, but it's not. It really doesn't hurt. I was doing and actually it was while I was working. It was while I was doing jujitsu. Whoa. We were doing some warm-ups, and it wasn't even when I was doing the actual jujitsu stuff itself. It wasn't even when I was performing. You know, we weren't rolling, or we weren't drilling, or we weren't doing anything. We were doing warm-ups. We were doing warm-ups. And it was a warm-up where basically you had to stand at a stationary position. Hi. You had to stand at a stationary position, and then you had to jump, you know, to a box. He had like one of those kind of rope ladders, and he had to jump to like a rung of the ladder. And so I jump, and so this is my foot. That's my, like, you know, your toes can curl down. So I jump, and when I landed on the ground like this. So like my toes went like down, and they really like hyperextended, like hyper curled, like the whole brunt of my weight. So one of the ligaments actually ripped a little piece of bone off. Oh my gosh, do you have proteins? Yes, you do. Hi. It's kind of crazy. Like when they first get proteins, there's a period where they're actually just kind of sweet, where they still can be snuffly, and they're just like, oh yeah. But then they realize real quickly, go get your proteins. Go get your proteins, baby. They get serious. They get super cereal. Oh, that breeze feels nice. Before it was just like hot air. The air was still moving, you know, there was a breeze, but it was like just a blow dryer. That's gross. No one likes that. Where is Layla? Oh, Layla's over there. Layla's got her food. So yeah, girls are going around. It's like we're doing like a hybrid. They're doing clean feed, where they're cleaning enclosures. And then, so you can see, like, Rachel's got the tractor down there. There's a body and the tractor. I'm not gonna take your food. She's like, I still don't trust you. I still don't trust you. So once they get done cleaning, they have the tractor, they have the proteins, they just dump the proteins into the enclosure. And then that's how that's done. Polly's got a ball. He's excited about getting fed. So he's snuffling and he's playing with his ball, as is tradition. What are you doing, Papa? Papa! He's like, I'm gonna get something good. Are you imagining like what sort of proteins you're gonna get? It's gonna be wonderful. Aw, what a sweetie. What a sweet feller. Rasa, are you being nice? Be nice. You be nice to that guy. There we go. Oh. Oh. They get so excited. What do you think, Sid? Oh, someone was just inside of something. Oh, she was inside of her pool. She was inside of her pool and then she just decided to jump up there. And she's still just like absolutely dripping, so she literally must have just jumped out. We're letting kitties out. Oh, the hustle and the bustle. Oh, and there's proteins happening. Look at these squishies. Look at these squishies. You're so squishy. You're so squishy. Why aren't you trying? He's like, I'm just gonna wait. It's fine. I can wait. I'm just trying to be cute. I'd rather be cute right now. Well, we appreciate your contribution to the Fancycast. Your cute contribution. It is very much so appreciated. Chompy chomp. How are you, bud? How are you feeling? He's a good boy. Well, this is just it's kind of a busy one. There's just like stuff happening. You know? But here's the thing, you know, the light's good, the energy's good, the temperature's good. Good time. Good time for filming. I was actually talking about that with Melissa earlier today. Because we were walking around, and it was kind of like it was midday. And it was just kind of, it was like kind of cloudy, but a little bit stuffy. I don't know why my voice had to go like that. It's stuffy. And everyone was just passed out. All the cats were just sleeping. They were just all zonked. Almost the entire compound. It's just like, yeah, that just happens. So there's just different times where everyone is, where the vibe, where it's like the vibe, man. Oh gosh, I fell down. Zubs. Hi, Zubaloobs. Hi, Zubaloobs. Hi, Zoobs. How are you? There's some people. I know that. And some are probably doing it kind of like, you know, to be silly and ironic, just because it's one of those kind of lines. Because like there's lines, you have lines, kind of almost meme-ish, like lines. There's like internet things, references. Or it's not even necessarily you're referencing one thing, but it is just something of the internet, you could say. But like I've been doing a lot of those cake posts on Instagram. I'm just smashing cake. Because, and this is the thing, you want to know the real reason I did it the first time. I don't know why, it just stuck into my head, and I'm like, this might kind of get a reaction. I was right, and it did. And every single time I've done it, huge reaction. Huge reaction. And it's crazy because I'll post a picture on the BigCatDerek Instagram account with lions and tigers. And there's a video, and there's a beautiful video of a tiger or a lion, something like that. And and people are going to say, but like when you were comparing metrics for different posts, it'll maybe get like something in its totality like 6,000 or 7,000 views. Okay, and I say only. I know people are like, only, like, what the hell? Like, wow, bragging much? And like, no, but I'm just saying comparatively. And then I post one of those stupid cake things. Oh yeah, and the other one may get like 50 comments. May get like 50 comments. So like 7,000 views, 50 comments. And then I'll post another thing. I'll post one of those cake videos. It gets like 12,000 views and 150 comments. and it's like, this, okay, I'll keep on doing it as long as it's getting a, hey, hands off. What the hell? Jeez, Momo. Calm your shit. But as long as it's getting a reaction, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. People are like, why you do this? Because you're reacting, because you're commenting, because you're fueling it. I'm just putting it on the people. I'm just like, it's not me, it's you. You did this. You did this. That's victim blaming, Derek. As cake victim. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so. That's kind of like that when you have to give like a little kid maybe who's getting bullied like advice. And you're like, you go back to high school, and look, I might be kind of touching a few nerves here because I might be touching or talking to people who like did experience bullying. Okay, and this is the other thing. There's degrees, there's various degrees, because everyone catches shit, okay? Everyone catches shit. I caught shit from various, yeah, like, you know, you go in, you're a freshman, there's the upperclassmen. Luckily, like, I I was 6 foot tall by the time I was in like 6th grade. So I actually had a pretty decent run. You know, I for the most part stayed off of like a lot of bad radars. But don't get me wrong, I still caught a little bit. But I would never say that I was like the target of bullying. But sometimes you just catch shit. Sometimes you catch shit. Sometimes people give you shit. There's all sticks and stones break your bones and blah, 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 blah. Look, sometimes it does help build resilience. Helps you deal with helps you deal with the assholes. And, you know, you remember like the kids, and then you remember the kids that were the targets. The ones that got it. The ones that kind of got you know, got it a little bit more than the other ones. A lot of times they were the ones that would like, they were the ones that they would freak out about it. Lex! Oh my gosh! How long are you here till?
Tuesday morning.
Oh my gosh, she's leaving Tuesday morning. Everyone, oh my gosh, we gotta say goodbye. Say goodbye. Bye, Lex.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. She's never gonna come back. Ever.
Back.
Nope. This is the last time you're ever gonna see her. Ever. But like a lot of times the ones that would get the ones who would catch the most shit, or the ones where it would like escalate to full blown, I mean like really nasty abusive bullying, a lot of times were the ones that, yeah, it's like the kids that got teased the most in class were the ones that kind of like, they freaked out the most. And a lot of times that's all it was. It's like, oh my gosh, we can make Jeremy like totally freak out. Like if we just kind of like push the right buttons, guys. You know, and that's all, and kids are cruel. Like little kids, you want to go back to like grade school, doot, 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 doot. Because it's basically just like you're inputting something into the computer, and then you're getting like you're getting an entertaining stimuli out of it. A lot of times, like, you know, you can be like a kid, and then you take part in some of that stuff, and you don't even realize just like how it's terrible, how terrible it is. Like I said, some people are gonna like hear those comments and be like, "Sounds like Derek was a bully." No, actually, I certainly wasn't. I never targeted. You know, I never had that kind of thing. But it's like there's different spectrums, and you have to realize that. You know, you go up, like no one went through things unscathed, and there's always kind of like circular deals. People say like, "Oh, I was a saint," and it's like, really? Because a lot of times, when you're talking about primates, higher primates like human beings, I mean, we're mammals. We do deal with emotions. We do deal with social hierarchies and stuff like that. And it's like there was like, you establish those roles and those pecking orders and whatnot within your social circles. And especially when you're young and you don't know necessarily how those things are. Like everyone's got their fair share of getting shit and then giving shit. But I will say that I tended to be, I guess, a little bit more of this is not me trying, oh God, Zuby, why? Every time. And I'm not trying to sit there and, you know, paint this picture just like, I was such a good person. But I did actually, I would like to say that I kind of developed like a strong sense of empathy pretty early on. I kind of always made it the point to try to socially engage with people who I guess were kind of considered that kind of downtrodden class, I guess. The ones that were a little bit more socially awkward, the ones that didn't necessarily have a lot of friends, the ones that did get kind of picked on. I would kind of make it a point to kind of reach out to them a little bit more. Because, you know, just because they didn't necessarily possess all of those social skills early on didn't mean that they're not still like tremendously valuable people with a lot to offer and of equal worth basically to everyone else. It's just how life is. It's how that goes. So I was able to kind of like cross a lot of Venn diagrams. I did a lot of, look, I was in a lot of different kind of groups. I did a lot of extracurricular activities. I did a lot of sports. And I did like varsity things and I was just starting defensive lineman on the varsity squad. So, oh man, I was must have been a total jock, huh? Must have been a total douche. Because they're all douches, right? Like, no, but I was also in band and choir and vocal jazz. And I did plays and musicals. I was on varsity wrestling, and I was on the starting squad for that. So, yeah. So I definitely, I was in a lot of those kind of, I was in forensics, which is a speaking club. So I definitely got to know a lot of the quote unquote the nerds, because I was definitely one myself, and I didn't try to hide it. But I also liked the sports. I also liked a lot of things. I just like people. I like being around different types of people. I see the value in everyone. But then at the same time, look, you can roast. You can roast and you can give shit, but there's a difference between roasting and just being a cruel bastard. Okay? There's a difference. Roasting is done with love, and just being malicious, that's a whole different thing. And I never liked that. I never liked that. But there were times that, I mean, you know what? And I can't say that I never did. I know that there were different times where like other people were kind of like doing the dog pile thing. This is when I was like young, like really young. But that's kind of one of those things where it's like you have to go through that, I think. You do have to kind of go, it's weird. But sometimes you have to go through the whole thing where everyone's kind of maybe picking on one kid, and then you kind of like, yeah, and then you see that kid's like legitimately upset. And then that's like then you start feeling like, oh God, like I don't feel so good inside. I don't like that. I don't like making people feel like that. But you do it also because you want to feel social pressure, and you don't want to be a schmutz. You don't want to be a schmuck yourself. Oh my gosh. Because you see, it's like the fear. I don't want to be like Jeremy. Oh no. Heavens no. I must crush Jeremy. I must join the others. Jeremy must be a sacrifice. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I'm so sorry. And it's not a real name. I'm not using any real names. The Jeremys I know did fine. Oh, but it's so weird. Actually, it reminds me of there's some episodes of that show Big Mouth on Netflix. It's hilarious if you ever get a chance to watch it. Absolutely filthy. Absolutely filthy. But it's like that kind of inner monologue stuff, the stuff that goes in like the mind of a developing young person. Yeah. So it's about like kids in middle school who are basically going through puberty, and then they actually have, if you haven't seen it, it's going to sound like really weird, but this one kid, he's got like a, well, you certainly can't call him an imaginary friend, because within the reality of the show, he's very real, but it's, he's basically like a symbolic manifestation like of his hormones, and he's called the hormone monster. And it's hilarious. And there's a male and female version of the hormone monster, and basically they're just like talking inside this kid's like ear about just like, and it's hilarious because it's basically like saying like the inner monologue of stuff that young people have to deal with, like the conflicting, just like weird crap that goes through your head in that very like odd and confusing time. So yeah. And they even go through some of that, like some of the social stuff, like, you know, like, oh my gosh, they're my friend, but I kind of feel like I need to just be like kind of part of the social hierarchy. And then it's yeah, Lord of the Flies, it's very good. I'm not doing it justice, but the more I talk about it, the less I do it justice. So I'm just gonna not talk about it anymore. It's a good show, check it out. Anywho, that's enough fancying for one day. It's a travel day, so I gotta get going. I gotta do a couple things before I leave. So thank you very much for watching this episode of the Fancycast. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope it's a fancy day, and I'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.